Hi doctor friends, welcome to my YouTube channel PG Dr. INDRANJU. Today's discussing topic is about the physiology question memory based which are asked in the NEET PG 2019. Let's start with the physiology memory based question. The first is the brain breeze reflex causes increase in heart rate. Going to discussing about the brain breeze reflex. The something about the brain breeze reflex, or also known as the atrial reflex. The brain breeze reflex, also called as the atrial reflex. Atrial reflex is due to it present at the veno-atrial junction. Here, if it is present, then it increase the heart rate. Increase the heart rate due to central venous pressure. Okay, it is the stretch receptor which are present in the atrium, a cardiac receptor for stretch. The brain breeze reflex and baroreceptor and brain breeze reflex both control the heart rate. The baroreceptor can correct the change in the atrial pressure by decreasing or increasing the heart rate, while that of the brain breeze reflex can correct the change in the blood volume. So brain breeze reflex respond to change in the blood. The brain breeze reflex for that example is the after delivery of the infant, when approximately 800 ml of the utero-placental blood put back into mother circulation, causing the tachycardia to the mother. And brain breeze reflex can be controlled by the drug atropine. And this abolished by the vagus nerve. If you look the action of the brain breeze reflex, the first of all, when the blood is come into that, the stretch reflex come in the action. This is here the fiber is the B fiber, B type of nerve fiber. It goes to the brain, and brain stimulate sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system to control the heart rate. So brain breeze reflex increase heart rate due to central venous pressure. Next question is the peripheral chemoreceptor respond to the hypoxia using which type of the channel? It is the potassium channel. I'm also going to detail about the peripheral chemoreceptor. In the peripheral chemoreceptor, peripheral, not a PCR, polymerase chain reaction. It is the peripheral chemoreceptor. It responds to hypoxia. Here the peripheral chemoreceptor are the two types. One is the carotid body and another one is the aortic body. The carotid body is more respond to the hypoxia, so it is the primary peripheral chemoreceptor. It is the primary peripheral chemoreceptor. And the aortic body, it present at the arc of aorta, while that of the carotid body is present at the bifurcation of the common carotid artery and the internal carotid artery. This both carotid and aortic body, the sensory extension of the peripheral nervous system into the blood vessel, which can detect the change in the chemical concentration like hypoxia, hypercapnia. If you look the carotid body, this contains the carotid body and aortic body. The carotid body contains type 1 glomus cell, while that in the aortic body it is the glia like type 2 cell. This activate the vagus nerve as a afferent nerve, while that of this type of cell acts as the afferent nerve fiber, which stimulates the carotid sinus. And this carotid sinus, the afferent nerve fiber to the brain, is the glossopharyngeal nerve to the medulla. This is through the vagus nerve, which activate, and this respond to change in the hypoxia, and responsible for such is the potassium channel. The next question is the hormone predominantly secreted after the 14 days for the further thickening of the endometrium is the progesterone. The hormone, the thing asking about the 14 days later, that means the LH surge have been occurred, that means ovulatory phase, already goes and it cross the ovulatory phase, so the phase becomes luteal phase, also known as the secretory phase. And the secretory phase or luteal phase, the progesterone is responsible for the further thickening of the endometrium, in which the endometrial, here the endometrial or the uterine gland becomes the tortuous, and here the spiral artery becomes more coiled, so further thickening occurs. Next is true about decorticate rigidity. Decorticate rigidity and decerebrate rigidity. The decerebrate rigidity, you can remember that the decorticate, if we look the words of the decorticate, DCO, cortic, decorticate or decerebrate, that means the here the trick is O. Here O, you can remember off, that means flexion. Here E for the extension, trick is flexion off. So the decorticated rigidity, that means the decorticated patient, in the comatose patient, the body posture is in the flexion, while that of in the decerebrate, this is the posture of the extension. If you look the diagram of the such is here. This is the diagrammatic representation of the decorticate and decerebrate. Here already I have told the trick decorticate and decerebrate. The decorticate here represent O. I have told the trick of, that means flexion, and here the D. DAC is, you can exclude. Then after D, cerebrate is E for the extension. Here the limb is extension, limb is in extension, while that of the here is in the flexion. So you can easily remember by this the diagrammatic representation of the decorticate and decerebrate rigidity. So according to the NEET PG question, the truth about the decorticate rigidity, the rigidity is less pronounced than the decerebrate rigidity. In the next question, the testosterone is secreted by which type of the cell? It is the Leydig cells. Leydig cells secrete the testosterone in response to the LH, and in the fetus it is HCG. Next one is the slow conduction. The slow conduction velocity occurs in the postganglionic autonomic nerve fiber. If you look the types of the fiber, then the type A, type B, and type C fiber are divided, and the here the postganglionic autonomic nerve fiber is the slowest fiber, which are sympathetic fiber are under the class type C according to Engler and the Gasser classification. And for the such is the slow conduction, and I will upload a video about the nerve fiber, which are fastest, slowest, and the type of the sensory motor. So discuss later. The next is the C peptide. C peptide present in the proinsulin. That means the insulin is covered with, if the one chain is alpha chain, one is the beta chain. Then this is the filled up with, covered with a C peptide. If you look, the C peptide chain which are removed and becomes the insulin. Next is the in the forceful expiration, which neuron get fired. Fired here the expiration, that means the exhale the our CO2. Then you can remember it by the trick, the ventral it is the ventral group of neuron is in the Hindi it is भेजो, that means bhagao. Expiration is bhagao, so it is the ventral respiratory group. This is the two types of medullary respiratory center or brain stem respiratory center. It is the two types in the medulla. I am telling about in the only medullary center. There they here the two types of the respiratory group. One is the ventral respiratory group, another one is the dorsal respiratory group. I have already told ventral, that means bhagao, that means expiration. Dorsal for entry, that means the dorsal for the inspiration. You can remember it by the trick is the DIVA, dive, that means dorsal groove for the inspiration and ventral group for expiration. You can remember in Hindi or English both. And the ventral group for the forceful expiration, or it is activated but not in quiet breathing or normal breathing, while that in the dorsal group of neuron it is stimulation during inspiration. Another question is about the antegrade peristalsis is due to antegrade peristalsis is due VIP. Next question is telling about the polyuria, when you will told the polyuria, that means criteria. It is the start with limit of the 50 ml per kg. Next is the tubuloglomerular feedback control is used for which one of the following is the GFR. Next is the calcitonin level increased in the hypoparathyroidism. Next is the functional residual volume or functional residual capacity is after normal expiration. Okay, next question is about the when the value of FeV1 is 1.3 and the FCV is 3.9, which of the following does this signify? It is obstructive lung disease due to FeV1 is decreasing, FCV is also decreasing, which are indicative of the obstructive lung disease. The vasopressin acts through which of the channel in the collecting duct? The vasopressin acts through the ADH, through the aquaporin channel. The Next thing is the about the Golgi tendon organ. The Golgi tendon organ is most important topic. It is actually inverse stretch reflex. That means it activate Golgi tendon organ activate the inverse stretch reflex. That means inverse myotactic reflex. This responds to the muscles tension or force of muscles contractility. I will also upload the video about the Golgi tendon organ, which are most important topic. Next is the in aging process. The what is the true? That means the which value increases. That means the lung pulmonary compliance will increase. This is the topic of the physiology. Thanks for watching my video. Have a nice day.